This is good stuff.
George, we need to talk.
What?
I really think we need to talk.
Uh-oh.
No, because I wanted to do who's good enough to make the playoffs, because I think there's a lot of parity in the league this year for some reason.
She wants to talk.
She doesn't want to talk. She needs to talk.
Nobody needs to talk.
Who would want to? She tried to end it with me, Jerry.
What'd you do?
I told her I was out of soda. I went out to get some, and I never went back.
Is that a lot of parity in the league?
Yeah, but the problem is there's a lot in that middle. There's not a lot on the top end, which is why Hugh had a hard time answering the question, who can win the Super Bowl? You've done a really good job of avoiding Josh's question. I'll give you that.
He wants me to say Buffalo. I ain't saying Buffalo.
No, he doesn't want you to say Buffalo. He wants you
to
to give a team, a single team that can win the Super Bowl.
Start calling you Twinkle Toes the way you danced out of that one.
Can you believe it? I'm supposed to be having lunch with her right now at Pomodoro.
Uh-oh. Everybody breaks up at Pomodoro's.
So, what am I going to do?
You really like this girl?
No, I like the ball. This is my one chance to make a great entrance.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chairs stacked just like a mountain. You heard about it, she running her mouth.
Gabe Neitzel, since you are the arbiter of this distinction, can we say that the NFL season is starting today?
Starts
is
today.
it finally here? Can we get excited?
You're the one who had the weird math at the beginning of the week.
It's not weird math. He agreed with me. He agreed with me. We all agree.
Josh, first of all,
You
Josh
got
did
to
not
count
agree.
the day. You
Yes,
can't
he did.
bypass the day.
Correct. Thank you.
Like, this day is just started.
But again, today
Okay, so
is
we're
the
still
game.
a day away.
No, we
So
can't.
by your math,
No.
we're a day away.
Today
is the day.
is the day. Today is the day.
We can't
Today is
accelerate
a
because we're
day.
still a day away.
What?
Apparently, the NFL season doesn't start today.
You just can't. Chewy's right. You can't just bypass days. You can't just accelerate your way through the week because you're super pumped about the game being on Friday and say that
when do
Tuesday
the Packers
doesn't count.
play? How many more
Tomorrow.
days? Okay, which is how many days?
Well, it's tomorrow.
Which is how many days?
Well,
Today
you
and
got-
tomorrow, 2.
Okay, so tomorrow is now 2 days in your guys' world.
It is. It's 7 a.m. I don't understand why this is so hard for you to wrap your brain around. You can't bypass today. Today has not happened yet. Is today in progress? Yes, it is.
You guys need to get off your high horses.
You know
because
what, though?
You know who the people agree with.
But in your
You know
defense,
who the people agree with.
Are we going to go to the poll?
Well, where you guys got boat raced.
But I was talking about this earlier. For me, the
Yeah.
season doesn't start until Sunday.
See, that's weird.
Doesn't start.
There will be a whole slew of games.
This is still preseason to you?
Doesn't start tonight. Doesn't start tomorrow. Sunday, it's like surreal to me. It's like, God, 20-something years ago, we opened up against the Rams. I had 7 catches, 97 yards, a touchdown. God, remember that?
Yeah, you guys lost the game.
Sounds like you do remember it.
I didn't need that detail.
Based on the.
How did you remember? Well, you got to go. Yeah, so this is like gravy tonight and tomorrow.
Because you guys didn't have this.
There
Like,
was
everybody,
no Thursday. There was,
Yeah.
except for Thanksgiving, there was
Correct.
no Friday. It was Sunday or Monday.
Yeah, you got everybody started on Sunday, except for the 2 teams that played on Monday Night Football.
And then we opened up one year on Monday night against the Bears and won that game.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was the year after the Super Bowl. So it doesn't get like weird to me till Sunday.
No, it's weird now. It's very
think?
weird now. Well, yeah, because there's a very big game. I could argue if it was a, crap game that you'd be like, it doesn't really count. But this is Ravens Chiefs. This is a big game.
Oh,
These
it's huge.
Right.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so your brain still isn't plugging in for
No.
football until Sunday, even though tonight's game and tomorrow's, because that's Packers Eagles.
Yeah.
Those are big, good games.
Yeah, maybe it's the multiple games on one day where there's a routine. All right, noon and then what is it, 3:30 here? I don't know. It's just
3:25.
It doesn't hit me till Sunday. It's just very weird.
Do you just
I don't
like? Is it because you can flip around to multiple games on
Maybe,
Sunday?
yeah.
And you
Yeah.
you have to be locked into one game today, tomorrow.
It's probably that and the fact that, like you said, never played on a Thursday or a Friday, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, and Friday is even newer than this whole Thursday thing. This is the first time they've played on a Friday the opening week of the season.
So
don't really like it either.
Will you watch tonight's Ravens-Chiefs game?
Half a cup.
Half a cup.
What can you glean from a week one? Again, we have talked about this on this program. The preseason is basically defunct. It's just a shell of its former self. So you don't really get a chance to assess who these teams are, what they are, or what their strengths are going to be. You think you know. I mean, the Chiefs and the Ravens, we've seen them play a lot. A lot of the same personnel, although every roster changes every year. So what do we really know about the Chiefs and the Ravens? Gabe, if you were to say what definitively we know this about these teams, does it begin and end with the quarterbacks?
Yeah, it starts with the quarterbacks. It starts with their head coaches. You have 2 top 5 quarterbacks, 2 top 5 head coaches in the league going head to head. I mean, the Ravens defense is going to be a little bit different this year, certainly. Yeah. They lost some players over there. The Chiefs have some new weapons offensively. So they're trying to figure out all the different things, that go with those new weapons.
Before till tomorrow, what's that going to tell me? Philly, Green Bay? Absolutely nothing.
What? No.
Not going to matter one bit.
What? That's ridiculous.
Go back to when the Saints blew out Green Bay in Jacksonville.
But that's different, Chew. Like, if the Packers get blown out by the Eagles,
means nothing.
Because when the Saints blow out the Packers, I think you had a better feeling of, okay, they're going to be fine because they were still a veteran team led by at that point, two-time league MVP,
yes.
or was he coming off his third at that point? But he had a multiple-time MVP. They had been known to kind of have these slow starts before. If the Packers get blown out 48-20 tomorrow,
don't care.
Really?
Oh, let me ask you this: Chiefs going to be in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Ravens going to be in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Green Bay going to be in the playoffs?
Maybe.
Philly going to be in the playoffs?
If they get blown out by the Eagles, then I'm starting to wonder.
I think Chewy's nailing it here. The NFL is like paradoxical. Neither one of these 4 teams that are going to play in the next 2 days are going to be their final version in the playoffs.
Yes.
They're not going to look the same. But these 4 teams we all expect to be playoff teams, these games will matter for seeding and playoff seeding.
Yes.
But I don't think any 4 of these teams are going to look remotely the same when it comes to Week 18.
No, if they blow them out or get blown out, I'm like, all right, it's one game, first game of the year. Who cares?
But it is a conference opponent.
It is.
To Josh's point, like for seeding towards the end of the year, you end up tied with Philly and you lose this game. Whoops.
But this league now is who's the healthiest at the end of the year and who's the hottest. And who's the hottest.
So you're telling me that the NFL is turning into the things that you hate about baseball and basketball?
Correct. Yes.
Right,
totally,
because every game is
1000%.
supposed to matter. Every game is supposed to. It's kind of like what we're dealing with in college football as well. You know, when you have the 4-team playoff, Florida State losing week 1 to Georgia Tech is supposed to matter. Florida State losing week 2 is supposed to matter. And yet Heather Dinich is on Get Up yesterday telling us, hey, actually, if they win the ACC, which you've said they will not, they could still be in the playoff. Like, it's not supposed to take away the importance of the individual game.
And maybe the Vikings win the NFC North.
Yeah, that's possible.
It's
also
certainly possible.
When I played and we lost a game, that week sucked. It was horrible. I would have played the next day to get that taste out of my mouth. I don't think players care as much. It's not care. It's just like it doesn't matter as much. It's like the NBA or baseball. Brewers lost 2 in a row to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Who cares, right?
I mean,
who cares?
They lost a little ground trying to chase down the Phillies. That stinks.
Yeah,
but there's still a lot of time left.
I would love to be in the locker room, like if they lose against Philly, just to see I mean, we were in the dumps. The coaches were in the dumps. That next week couldn't come fast enough. I just don't think. I think they're like, hey, we're fine. We're fine. It wasn't fine when I played.
Wait, similarly, and I want to use the Wisconsin Badgers as the example here. If you win a game, but it ain't pretty, right? It's not your best look, like Wisconsin had last week on Friday. What's the vibe? What's the attitude then? You got the win, right? You walked away with a W, and some people would say that's all that matters. But if you feel like, there's things we need to clean up, there's things we need to work on, what's the vibe around the team then for that week?
Well, let me ask you this, Jen. Do you think Wisconsin is going to make the playoffs? No.
Don't.
No. So then it's different.
Wearing my Wisconsin Badgers hat, that was a tough one to spit out there, but
when you
right now I do not.
Like when you think you have a chip, or you got some chips or some balls in the big little lottery spinner that you can make, there's more pressure. More pressure, and you're like, all right. I mean, it's fine. It's fine, but I talked about it early. Then you get the Colts who can beat you. You just don't want to compound those.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why if they get blown out in this game, Chew, which again, I'm not predicting is going to happen, it's a big deal. And it's a bigger deal than when you had Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and all these veteran players. You're like, okay, I know what these guys are. They're going to be fine. There's still a lot of question marks around this team. Like, who definitively, who on the Green Bay Packers roster do you go, yep, I know exactly who that player is? There's not a lot.
No, there's not enough. But if they do get blown out, Gabe, I'll immediately go to, and we talked about this a bunch, I'm going to go to, maybe it wasn't Joe Barry. Certainly wasn't all Joe Barry. I'm not bought in that they have the players on defense to do this. I mean, we do this every year. Like, oh, God, Joe Barry's going to blitz this year, and they're going to be aggressive.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Poop Kool-Aid.
We're going to be aggressive. Jeff Hafley's great, you know? And I will tell you this, and I don't know if this means anything, Boston College looked better with Bill O'Brien than it did Jeff Hafley after one game. I'm just going to say that. They looked faster. They looked more athletic for whatever reason. Am I bought in? No. And it should be everyone's question mark. Is it Bates or the players? They hold the Eagles to 3, I'll be like, all right, I feel pretty good. They get blown out, I'm going to be like,
yeah, I'm just saying I think because the team is still so incredibly young, that does this game mean everything? No. If they get blown out, can they bounce back? Certainly.
I guess it depends
but
on
there's
if you're...
still a lot you can glean from the game.
I guess it depends on if you're willing, you're playing tricks with your brain is what ends up happening when you have a game like this and you're trying to project what happens, right? I think the line has moved. Joshy, I think it was 3 at one point this week. I believe it is 2 now at the Potawatomi Sportsbook. So even the odds makers aren't sure how this sucker is going to shake out, right? Like a 2 at a neutral site. They think these teams are obviously pretty evenly matched, but they have a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. So for all of the consternation and hand-wringing over Jeff Hafley and what is this defense going to look like, Philadelphia is dealing with the same thing on both sides of the ball, Chew.
But we know Vic Fangio is a hell of a defensive coordinator.
Are you worried at all about the game passing Vic Fangio by? If Vic Fangio steps out there and throws the same stuff out there he's been doing for his entire time in the NFL, couldn't you make the argument that...
But there are a lot of Vic Fangio disciples out there. There is a Vic Fangio tree.
Sure.
You know, there's no Jeff Hafley trees. And when's the last time Hafley's been in the NFL? And he wasn't even a coordinator. He was just a position coach in San Francisco. So this is a new deal for him as well. Kellen Moore.
It's been around the block.
I thought he was but I thought he was a good coordinator in Dallas and then went to San Diego last year and, you know, it takes time. So, yeah, I get that. But Vic Fangio has a resume. Jeff Hafley doesn't. And I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm not saying he's bad or he's good. I'm just saying, I don't know.
You're saying you know more about Vic Fangio because you've seen him run, what is it, a too-high shell for the duration of his career?
I'll just say this, Jen. If I'm playing Philadelphia, and I'm not playing I'm playing cover 1, okay, where you're bringing McKinney up, you're playing man on the outside on Smith and Brown, and then you have McKinney in the box for run support if they decide to run the ball, and if they don't, he spies Jalen Hurts. That's how I would do it. That's how I'd do it. We'll see. You know, you can't do that every down.
No, makes me nervous about, you know, the receivers that they have, too.
AJ.
Yeah, but sure, you feel good about Jair.
But
do you? Again, no, and I want to put this out there again. We're having a very interesting conversation about how to attack the Philadelphia Eagles. That receiver is a big dude, right?
Yeah.
And Jair is not. And that's not to say he can't cover him. It's just to say, do you want Jair Alexander man-to-man on A.J. Brown, Gabe, yes or no? Truth serum?
Yes. I'm more worried about Eric Stokes on Devontae Smith.
Would you? Okay, well, switch them up. Go ahead. Like, what would your perfect defensive scheme be? Who would you have on who?
Well, I would prefer not to have to load up the box. I don't have to put 8 up there. I'd prefer to have a couple safeties.
However, are you familiar with Saquon Barkley's work?
Unfortunately,
and Jalen Hurts.
Unfortunately, the Packers are very familiar with
not
what
only
Saquon
that,
Barkley can do.
but if you're going to play man with Jalen Hurts, you better spy him.
Yeah, because
and that's where you think McKinney should be.
Because those defenders turn their backs, and it's
yeah.
I don't think they're going to be playing much man. Going to be honest.
Well,
their whole thing is zone with vision to the ball. That's what they've been. Hafley was brought in as some guy who's going to be super aggressive, but the aggression comes from playing zone, but always screaming towards the ball.
That's fine, because there's a version, and I know I'm talking like French to you guys, but then you play 3 Sky or 4 Lightning.
Oui.
Prone la clé. That's the only thing I remember from. You know what that means?
I'm scared.
No idea.
I'm scared to ask.
Yeah,
what it
exactly.
means.
Can you say it on the radio?
I think it means hand me the chalk.
What a random thing to know.
That's the only thing I remember. Prone la clé.
I just assumed the only thing you would remember would be dirty.
So it's a fair assumption. So I have friends who have played soccer, if you will, with Hispanics, right? I've played it with on Mexican teams and whatnot.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And the only Spanish that they know is "dame la pelota," which means give me the ball, right? Like that's it. But that makes sense because within the confines of the game, you would need to use that vernacular. Give me the chalk.
You're not a teacher. And it's not 1992.
Has no relevance
I know.
to your existence. Anyway, we got to get to Jason Wilde. He's coming up next here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We can ask him about his optimism for the Green Bay Packers taking on those Eagles tomorrow night.
Change the way you do business. Take more control of the payment process with Fifth Third Bank's Treasury Management Solutions. Their market expertise and managed services streamline the entire payment process and integrate with your existing systems, giving you more control than ever. With their suite of payment solutions, you will soon recognize new revenue sources that can save time, offset operating costs, and improve the bottom line, all customized for your business. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Passe-moi la craie.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Got a few accidents to deal with right now. First of all, westbound 94, right in the stadium interchange off on the right shoulder, an accident there. Another one just west of Highway 100 on the left shoulder. And another one just reported at on 894 westbound just west of 60th Street. Looks like the left lane is blocked with that one, and we're starting to see some big delays through there. So give it a little bit of extra time this morning if you do have to go through that area. Traffic is brought to you by 2 Men in a Junk Truck. Have unwanted clutter or junk? Go to 2meninajunkTruck.com for a free, no obligation estimate. Keep what you love, ditch what you don't. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Early sunshine, then increasing clouds, a chance for showers and isolated storms, a high of 84. Tonight, slight chance for showers, mostly cloudy with a low of 58. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
They say seeing is believing, and when you see what's inside at American Place Casino, you better believe you're gonna love it. Because when it comes to amazing gaming, we're a real game changer. With the most exciting of table games like blackjack, craps, and roulette, the newest slots, a sports book, restaurants, bars, and more. So if you're ready for excitement, we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game.
Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER, 1-800-426-2537.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher, and summer is here. But if you want your parking lots and asphalt to be ready for winter, you have to remember the 3 R's from Johnson & Sons Paving. Reseal every 2 to 3 years. Repair when you see signs of cracking or potholes. And replace if there's constant standing water, buckling, or sinking. Don't scare customers or tenants away because of a bad parking lot. Connect with Johnson & Sons today before minor repairs end up being huge headaches. Schedule an appointment at johnsonsonspaving.com.
Think that QB will throw for more than 300 yards? How about that receiver in Miami grabbing a touchdown? Check out DraftKings Pick 6, the newest way to play fantasy football. It's super simple to get started. Download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app. Pick a player and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat, like yards, touchdowns, catches, and more. Download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code OUTCOME. That's code OUTCOME for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits, guaranteed, plus 1 month of NFL Plus Premium on us. Offer expires 9/19, only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. One per new customer. Reward issued as $50 in non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 6 months. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at NFL.com/terms.
Awarded Best of Weddings 2023 by The Knot, The Bog is much more than world-class golf. Our clubhouse ballroom offers floor-to-ceiling windows and a breathtaking full-wall fireplace. Our barn venue was inspired by the on-site barn at Hole 6, built in the 1800s. 2 outdoor ceremony sites and a variety of personalized options. Our venues are perfect for family get-togethers, weddings, showers, graduation parties, or any event you are hosting. Call The Bog at 262-292-0740 or visit thebarnofthebog.com.
Ready, down, hood. All Packers, all the time.
He was a field-tilting player, and the reason why Gabe and many others are so concerned is that this guy's on the field, he changes the offensive dynamic. They are a different offense when he is there.
Okay, most of the time.
You know, Homer calls Matt LaFleur soft all the time. Matt LaFleur is like Vince Lombardi compared to me.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
It is time to catch up with our friend and teammate Jason Wilde. Good morning, Jason. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We are great. We are excited. Although Chewy is having a tough time wrapping his brain around Thursday night football, Friday night football to start the season. When have the kickoffs been in the past, Gabe? I remember big kickoff parties. Have those always been, I thought it was always Thursday, no?
I mean, some people probably have parties today, yeah.
Not not like in your house parties. Jason, refresh my memory. There was a year that the Packers kicked off the NFL season. They had a big stage out in the parking lot of Lambeau Field. Yeah. What was that? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was that was the year that they had their 100th season, or the NFL had its 100th season. They played the Bears. They also kicked off, I mean, this is a tradition that is at least 15 years old, maybe more. They kicked off the 2011 season on Thursday night to open the season against the Saints because they were the reigning Super Bowl champions. I think they might have played Seattle after Seattle won a title. So,
yeah, Seattle in 14.
Yeah, so Chewy just needs 20 years to wrap his brain around it, I think is what you're getting at, right, Jason?
Well, first of all, it takes Chewy a while to wrap his brain around a number of things, so this is not unique to that. But, yeah, this has been, I think it goes back to maybe 2006, 2007-ish, somewhere in there. I'm sure Joshie is fact-checking me as we speak.
Jason, bigger concern, offense or defense?
Ooh, good question. I mean, I guess I have to say the defense, just because we have no evidence of what it may be capable of. But I was working on my story for tomorrow's State Journal, and I think I might have mentioned this to you guys. One of my favorite back and forths that I had during training camp was with Jordan Love about how miserable the defense was making his life in practice and how much he was looking forward to them doing that to some quarterback other than him. And I really do think that this feels different to me. And I think if you went back in our archives, which I know no one has time to do, which is probably good because I'll probably turn out to be wrong, but I don't think that there was at least from my perspective, the same level of optimism or confidence or expectation certainly not for Joe Barry's defense. Like, I know from the start that I was a Joe Barry doubter, because I remember talking about how poor his defenses have been statistically in Washington and Detroit. And I think it was in Detroit where one of the reporters asked Rod Marinelli if he wished that his daughter had married a better defensive coordinator. I never was optimistic about that defense being good. The question was, is it going to be just good enough with the way, with what Rodgers was capable of and with what Matt LaFleur's offense might be capable of. Pettine, I like the Pettine hire when Mike McCarthy finally decided to move on from Dom, but they have been a top 5 scoring defense once in the last 20 years, and the one time they won the Super Bowl in 2010. So if this is as good as some of us suspect it might be capable of being defensively, I think that will be really interesting. At the same time, I'm a little bit skeptical on the offensive side too, just because they had a good practice against the Ravens, but I didn't see again. I got a kick out of Jaden Reed giving me a hard time for being a Chicken Little about the offense. We got all these guys. We got Wicks. We got Watson. We got Rome. We got Jordan Love. Like I was, just out of line to be. And he said it playfully, but like it was ridiculous that I would think that there was a chance that maybe this offense was going to take some time to find its footing against defenses that have an entire year's worth of film of Jordan Love. So I guess I have to say defense, but maybe down deep inside, I kind of have a little more question about whether the offense can duplicate what it did down the stretch last year.
By the way, kickoff started in 2002, the NFL kickoff game, and then in 2004 was when the tradition of the defending champion hosts that game began. What are our feelings on Marshawn Lloyd? Is he going to play? Is he still going to be out with the hamstring? What do you think ends up happening tomorrow with his availability?
So I think in the immortal words of Mike McCarthy, they will ultimately play the high side of caution with him and probably not play him. Now, again, I wouldn't rule it out because he practiced, and all my days are messed up now because they're playing on a Friday. So it takes me a while to wrap my head around this too, Chew. He practiced Sunday, Monday, didn't practice Tuesday. I don't know if the Packers ever sent out their injury report. I think I got it from the NFL. They added Tucker Kraft yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
With a back issue, but they had Lloyd estimated because they obviously weren't doing Russell Wilson high knees up and down the aisles of their airplane, so they didn't really have a practice. They had him estimated as limited, as if he would have practiced yesterday. So I think there's at least reason for hope. But again, he's a rookie, right? Like he missed the front end of training camp dealing with a hip injury, missed the back end with a hamstring injury. And yeah, it's all nice that you can say, well, I took all the mental reps, I'm ready. That's the same thing Jordan Morgan said the other day to us. But I just don't think that's the same. Like, that's great that you're not, sitting around playing NHL 95 on your old school Sega system in your apartment. But that's great that you're taking mental reps. That doesn't mean that you're ready as a rookie to play in an NFL game, whether it's Lloyd, who, do you really want to put him out there on third down, protecting your $220 million quarterback from a blitz? Or if it's Morgan, who I think they're going to rotate with Sean Ryan, he's never played guard in a football game at any level. He's only been a left tackle. And so in both those instances, I would be a little bit leery about the fact that, if I am going to play them, I have to pick my spots.
Jason, you mentioned Kraft. What do we need to know about Andrew Beck? I don't know anything about Andrew Beck.
Who's Andrew Beck?
He's a fullback, right?
I don't know. You tell me. I want to know what you know about
That's
Andrew Beck.
literally all I know. That's the extent of my knowledge about this young man.
Yeah, he's a fullback. I think he played college ball at Texas. I don't know a whole heck of a lot about him either. But again, this is, I know that they want some type of move guy in their arsenal. And while I don't think, I remember we were talking about this on this show, that we were thinking they were going to make A.J. Dillon kind of the Josiah DeGuara, right, Chu?
Yeah.
And then obviously, and Matt LaFleur said this to us the other day, that they had a very clear plan for him. He had a role. Like, he was, for all of us, and I am 1,000% in this group, for all of us that thought this guy might be on the chopping block, given the very little guaranteed money they owe him, et cetera, apparently he was never in danger at all. Like, he was going to be their guy that they were going to use in a myriad of ways, and LaFleur was legitimately excited about what his role was going to be. So when you subtract him from the equation, they brought back Henry Pearson for a little while, who had been on the practice squad all of last year. He's a fullback. They don't actually, I understand that they list Andrew Beck as a fullback on the practice squad roster, but the fact of the matter is he doesn't sit with, just like Henry Pearson, I'm sure, he doesn't go to the running back meetings. He goes to the tight end meetings. And so, this isn't the old days of Harry Sidney or William Henderson. They might line him up that way on occasion in front of Josh Jacobs, but this is more, I would say it's more of an H-back type role in their offense. And for whatever Josiah's shortcomings were as a third-round pick and how much more you would have liked to have gotten out of him than what they did during his tenure, that is a piece that Matt LaFleur believes is crucial. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of their game day call-ups. It really comes down to what are they going to do at running back, and then do they think Malik Willis is ready to go into a game with his crash course in the offense? Because if he's not, they're going to have to use one of their game day call-ups on Sean Clifford and have him be the backup.
Jason, do you have any idea what the rotation is going to be at right guard? Is it going to be every other series? Is it going to be quarters?
I don't know. It is not. I do not think it's going to be quarters. The evidence that we have from their rotation stuff last year, both with Ryan and Runyon, and with Yash and Rasheed Walker, was either series by series, or if there's one guy slightly ahead of the other, it's 2 series to every one. So my gut tells me, I do not have any evidence of this, and obviously they boot us from practice now, so it's not like we get to see what they do in 11-on-11 like we do in training camp. But my gut would tell me, the way LaFleur was talking about Ryan answering the bell after he basically called him fat and out of shape publicly, is that they'll probably play Ryan 2 series and then bring Jordan Morgan in for 1, and then play Ryan again, and then bring in Jordan Morgan. I don't know that. That is a educated guess from me. But in talking with both Sean Ryan and Jordan Morgan, while both of them clearly got the message not to tell us what the plan was, we asked them both about the idea of rotating. And I think Jordan Morgan's response was, as long as I get to play, that's fine. And I think Sean Ryan actually said that this could be an advantage, that it throws off the defensive tackle on not getting a bead on either one of us. I'm not sure I believe that.
That's garbage.
But that's his. But
sell it.
Good luck.
But right, Gabe, you nailed it. Like, he's selling it already, and the fact that he's selling it tells me that that's probably what they're doing.
So they're probably going to grade him on the fly, right? I mean, it could be second half like, hey, Morgan's playing much better. Let's just run with him. I guess that's a possibility, right?
It is. I would think it's a possibility, but I wouldn't say it's the probability. Like, they rotated, I don't have it in front of me, but like the last 7 to 8 games, they did it that way at right guard. Like, they clearly knew, and John Runyon kind of told us that they never even bothered to make him an offer in terms of an extension. Like, they knew that they were going to move on from him, and so they wanted to get their guy work. They thought Sean Ryan was good in spurts, probably going back to what we just said about his conditioning, And so they wanted to get him work, and they did. But I don't think if you go into a game planning on rotating, I would be surprised then if at some point LaFleur said, no, we're just going to have one guy do it. I think once you're committed to the rotation, I think you probably do it all game.
Jason, you got your Boldathon coming up right after us here on 94.5 ESPN. Do you have any bold takes you want to throw out there, kind of preview the show?
I got a bold take. I think the only person from this show that we booked is Chewy.
Gabe was bent.
I mean, I nailed mine last year, Jason.
Yeah, he was bent. I got a text right away, Jason.
I nailed mine last year. Apparently, after you nail yours, you don't get invited back.
No respect for the returning champ.
Wait, what was your bold pick last year?
That Jaden Reed was going to lead the team in receiving yards.
Well, what was my bold pick last year?
I don't know if you were invited.
Were you on the show last year?
Yes. I just don't remember what my bold prediction was. Jason, I'll come on the show today. I just got to give Jesse a time. Yesterday, I was knee-deep in interviews. But, yes, I will come on the bold show.
Oh, wait. So now I'm the only one who wasn't even asked.
Wait a minute.
I was the only one who wasn't even asked.
I don't want to judge anybody here. But dropping that little nugget, was that just to rub it into your cohort there? Like, well, I was actually asked. I just couldn't pin down a time. You, on the other hand,
she invited herself to dinner.
Yeah. Who are you, Jair?
Wait, no, I got invited, Chewy. Stop it. I have a text message.
She's globbing on
I have a text message right here from Jesse Nelson. Hey, Jen, Wilde and Tausch are doing the annual Boldathon tomorrow. Is there a time that would work well for you to join for a few minutes between 10 and 11:30 to share your bold prediction for the Packers season? Suck it. He didn't say suck it. I'm saying suck it.
Did he copy and paste that and send it to everyone except Gabe?
Apparently, yes.
Yeah, I had to go through Chewy, though, so I was the intermediary.
It is a little shocking that Chewy was the only one to respond.
Well, I'll tell you this right now, Jason. If you don't get to Chewy on time,
you ain't getting them.
You ain't getting them.
Well, stay alert on the ready five there, Gabe.
I've already used the haircut and dentist like 7 times this week.
You've got the best teeth and best hair in town.
He's not actually going to the dentist or the
I had
stylist.
to make a bunch of calls because friends called, and I'm not a big phone guy. So, hey, I got to have a crown put on. I got to go.
Crown
You don't do that? No one else does that?
No, I don't make up elaborate lies to get off the phone.
I just say,
I
gotta go.
I actually have a very strict no-lie policy when it comes to stuff because I feel like you can always get caught in a lie.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care.
All right. Well, I look forward to some or none of you joining us today on the show.
All right, Jason. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Jason Wilde is heard on Wilde and Tausch right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every weekday here on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. So do I need to remember what my bold prediction was for last year so that I can rub it in your guys' face if I was right?
No, because obviously I'm going to tell you this right now. I feel very confident that if you were right about whatever your bold take was on the Boldathon, you would have remembered.
I just don't remember what I'll have to go back and look it up on Wisconsin On Demand. That's what I'll be doing during the break. Because, any opportunity to gloat, I'm not going to miss out on that.
But what happens if you're wrong?
Well, we'll just keep...
The rest of us gloat?
We'll just keep moving right along. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, we got a few accidents being worked on right now. A couple on westbound 94. One right about at the stadium interchange on the right shoulder. Another one just past Highway 100 on the left shoulder. Both of these areas going to be a little bit tight. We do have another one on 894 westbound just west of 60th Street. It is in the left lane and it's wreaking havoc. We've got basically a parking lot all the way back to the Mitchell interchange. So give yourself that extra time. Northbound 4394 backing up out of the Mitchell around the Plainfield curve up towards Oklahoma Avenue, and then southbound 43 backing up from just before Hampton down to Capitol Drive. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles. Add Kringle to your football tailgate and make your friends and family happy. Order at kringle.com or call 1-800-4DANISH. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, early sunshine, then increasing clouds. Chance for showers and isolated storms, a high of 84. Tonight, slight chance for a shower, mostly cloudy with a low of 58. Weather's brought to you by Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin's Road America. The Aaron's Art on Wheels weekend is coming up September 13th through the 15th. Get your tickets today and check out the full season schedule at roadamerica.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 128-ounce selected varieties Blue Ribbon Pails, $4.99 with coupon. 3 to 6 count selected varieties M&M, Snickers, Dove, or Twix Novelties, $3.99. 4 count selected varieties Dannon Multi-Pack Yogurt, 2 for $8. 64-ounce selected varieties Old Orchard Juice, 2 for $5.
I am starving.
Oh no, never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, oh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against San Francisco November 24th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
I'm shopping at Century alone next time.
Enter by November 6th.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman here for Carbless, my go-to drink this summer. Handcrafted right here in Wisconsin, Carbless is a ready-to-drink vodka and tequila cocktail. Perfect for hanging out on the patio by the grill, chilling on the lake, or tailgating at the Brewers game. Plus, it's got 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. All summer, make sure you're following Carbless on Instagram at Drink Carbless for your chance to win a Summer Bliss prize package. Find Carbless online and at retailers near you. Carbless. Bliss is more.
You've probably heard about employee stock ownership plans before, but what separates Fifth Third Bank from others when it comes to these plans? A succession plan that benefits business owners and employees. Full and partial sales, second stage transactions, repurchase obligation financing, and seller note refinancing, ESOPs can offer tax advantages, increased liquidity, employee incentives, and overall diversification of net worth to help your company plan for the future. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Are you looking for a reliable ride? I've got you covered. It's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. I use AccuTrans Group for my private transportation needs during the college football season. AccuTrans is a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. From corporate travel and weddings to group events, AccuTrans Group caters to every occasion. Booking is easy, safe, and dependable. Visit AccuTransGroup.com to get a quote or to book a reservation today for reliable and safe transportation.
September baseball is coming, and every Brewers game means even more this time of year. Get to American Family Field as the Crew takes on the Rockies September 6th through the 8th. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I'm right-handed, but
I'm with
Yeah.
Gabe here, yeah. I feel more confident in my left hand here, just cupping right now, other than my other hand cupping.
Mostly because I also...
I get a lot more work out of the right hand.
On 94.5 ESPN.
But that don't change the show.
Well, my microphone was open. I'm not sure if that ghastly sound that just came out of you made it all the way over here. Are you all right?
I'm a little verklempt.
I heard it through the wall.
So what you're saying is it did go out on the air.
Excellent producing here by Joshy, by the way.
Yeah, his timing is off. So when you say your mic is on, I get 2 seconds, right?
But my mic was on.
Yeah, she turned her mic on.
Know that?
Sure. But still, that noise was loud.
I know I have the nickname of the elephant in the morning. I'm loud, but I don't know I'm loud.
But you know you're loud.
No, I don't.
You just had said,
We're
I'm
telling
loud.
you right now.
And everyone else.
You're loud.
So I turned my microphone on.
If you know you have the nickname of the elephant, I think you are now aware that you are loud.
I guess you're right.
Elephants are quite quiet, though, except for the whole trunk noises.
What about stomping through the jungle?
Yeah,
like
quiet
walks.
incredibly quiet walkers.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So
They can
then
sneak
it's
up on
not a
you.
bad thing. So then they're wrong about me.
When
No,
you
I
say
just-
they, this feels very loaded. Is they Angie?
She deals with it. It's when people come
Obviously.
to stay at the houses. It's like, you make a lot of noise in the morning. You got to clear your throat. You got to clear your nose. You got to clear
look
your
at that.
colon.
He's got a lot. His lungs are oversized,
Yes.
Jen. He's got to clear those bad boys out. They're a little bit bigger than everybody else's.
And everyone just heard it on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee. Talking about the Packers taking on the Eagles tomorrow, and of course the NFL season kicking off tonight. A very good game to start the NFL season as the Chiefs and Ravens will do battle. There was an interesting article about the reason for optimism, reason for pessimism for all of the teams. We want to focus specifically on the NFC North. The reason for optimism for the Green Bay Packers is Jordan Love, which I think you could make a really good case for being optimistic about Jordan Love. Obviously, what he did at the end of last season, he is now the highest paid quarterback in the league. You know, you could argue that that is just timing and the way that the market works, or you could argue that the Packers really think he is the face of the franchise, the future at the position, and that he will guide them to similar success, maybe even exceed the success that the previous predecessors had. Chewy, it does feel a little like cheating, though, doesn't it? The quarterback is the reason for optimism. I'm not sure that breeds a lot of confidence, to be perfectly honest with you. What do you think?
Yeah, they're going to win or lose for the most part as he goes. I mean, he's got to have help, but if you put a game manager on this team, probably not making the playoffs.
Who's a game manager in the league right now?
Hi. Okay, a game manager in the league. Hold on. Got to pull up the teams.
Why don't you go through the list?
Hold on. I mean, a good game manager?
It's Kirk Cousins.
I mean, because I could say Daniel Jones is a game manager, but he's not a very good game manager.
No.
He doesn't.
That's very nice.
If you're managing
let me give
games,
you
you're
one.
limiting
I'll
turnovers.
give you one, even though it's probably wrong. David Carr.
But Derek would be the one.
Bless America.
Derek Carr.
Every time.
It's impressive at this point.
David has been a broadcaster for the last decade.
I think.
Hold on, Sam Darnold.
Stinks.
Not even a game manager.
No, backup.
Kyler Murray. No, I don't even think there are. Geno Smith.
Oh, no, you can't consider Brock Purdy a game manager at this point, can you?
Yeah.
No.
I think he's a high end.
I think he's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Are we underselling him?
Josh
But
is.
The point I was trying to make, and I'm glad that this is illustrated, is I don't think there are a lot of game managers in the NFL anymore. I think it's elite or very good,
or bad.
and then El Stinko.
Yeah.
I'm referencing right here the Stephen Ruiz list of the quarterback rankings. I think anybody basically 15 and under until you start getting into the Russell Wilsons, Sam Darnold, Bryce Young. Those are game managers. That's just what they are.
Problem is, a lot of those guys are young. A lot of those guys are rookie or first-year quarterbacks, and we just don't know what they're going to be.
But like current iteration
Baker
of
Mayfield's not a game
Mayfield.
manager.
He's not good.
Yes, he is.
He's all right.
He's better than a game manager.
Your Tampa is showing. I said Tampa.
But I don't think he's.
Oh,
just so everybody knows.
Tampa. I mean, his stats last year were not. What's a game manager? 18 touchdowns, 8 picks.
Yeah,
not even 18 touchdowns.
I think to Jen's point, game managers just don't exist anymore because
you have
rules.
no time for them.
Yeah, of the rules of the NFL, you got to throw. So like Baker may have inflated stats, especially when you think about 18 touchdowns or whatever it would have been a game manager in when you played or the early 2000s. But as the game continues to evolve,
so what
Kirk Cousins,
don't say he's a game manager.
He's a game manager in 2024. He's not an elite quarterback. So. He's not a top 10 guy, Chew. Right?
I think he's under 15.
So, he's between 15 and 10?
Which, by the way, is where he is on this list.
Where you were putting. I'm sorry,
wasn't he 15th on this list, this quarterback rankings? He's exactly 15 on this NFL rankings from The Ringer, where they ranked the NFL quarterbacks.
Could Kirk Cousins... I think he could win a Super Bowl with 5 or 6 teams.
With one team.
No way.
You put him on
what, Kansas City or 49ers?
No, put him on San Francisco.
Yeah.
You put him on San Francisco and you feel
you put him on Philly.
About it.
No, you put him on Philly. Mm-hmm. If he's got people to throw to.
Philly's defense, I don't know if it's good enough.
I think we're having a hard time changing how we think about game managers with the evolution of the game. Because game managers now are high upside guys a lot of the time, but they're not like, when you think game manager, you think of like statue, stay in the pocket, just complete a few passes.
Yeah, don't
Brad
turn the
Johnson.
ball over.
Right.
Don't
Trent
lose the
Dilfer.
game.
Those guys don't exist anymore.
What
right?
about
Yeah.
like a Minshew? Could Minshew be
He's
a
a
game
game-
manager?
He's a backup.
Yeah, he's
also a starter.
Yeah, but he's a backup. Like, ideally, he's a backup, right? Like, ideally, he's not one of the 32 best quarterbacks.
I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, that sort of feels like that area that we're existing in. That you're only a starter because your team is in a bad spot, Raiders, and you would probably not be starting anywhere else. But you are a starter, and we just don't want you to go out there and lose games. Could you consider Gardner Minshew a game manager in 2024?
No, because game manager is even a step above what he is.
yeah.
Like,
It's like
Garner to me is in that Sam Darnold camp. I mean, he's better than Sam, but
Minshew is.
yeah.
I guess it depends on the Sunday.
It's just there's no.
For whatever it's
There's-
worth, this
there's no
list
patience
has
for
Sam
game
Darnold
managers
29
anymore.
and
No.
Gardner Minshew 31.
because
You're spinning your wheels.
Correct. Game managers don't get you
Yeah.
anywhere. So teams are like, okay, we either got to be all in on this guy, or like, there's no half measure.
Like,
you know,
let me ask you this question: if Bryce Young sucks this year, is he gone?
Probably not, but they will be looking for another ways.
It's
And I
just
don't-
amazing to me how short the leash is.
especially in a situation like that.
Well, if you're
Like you
5'8".
throw him on a crappy team, he's the first pick, and all of a sudden, what's the perception of Bryce Young in the league now?
Stinks.
There's no
PU.
patience. It's crazy. I would almost have been like, all right, let's just stink, not play him, give him a little time.
It's kind of what the Patriots are doing.
If he stinks this year, then that's on Carolina. They destroyed him.
Correct.
Right?
Which is why at draft time, you always have the conversation that it is more about fit than anything else. Right? You could want to be the first guy picked off the board.
Mm-hmm.
But if the fit is bad, and again, historically, the teams that are picking early have been bad. They're not in that position otherwise.
I would suggest if you're trading for the number one pick, maybe don't trade your best receiver who would really help out that number one pick.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion for future teams looking to do that.
Or if you know
little
you're
bit of
going to
negligence happening there.
If you know you're going to go 3-14, why play him?
Well, again, that's what the Patriots are doing. The Patriots know that they're not a very good team this year.
So play
they're not,
Brissett.
Yeah, they're playing Brissett. At some point, I think we'll see Drake May this year, but they're playing Brissett early.
So I want to get back to this list very quickly, and I know we're running out of time. The reason for pessimism on this list from SB Nation, I said the reason for optimism for the Green Bay Packers was Jordan Love. But the reason for pessimism, guys, the young weapons.
That don't evolve.
But don't those kind of go hand in hand?
Yeah.
How does Jordan Love have success without the young weapons? You know what I'm saying? Like, it feels a little like talking out of both sides of their mouth. Like, the young weapons have to produce. The young weapons have to evolve. The young weapons have to perform in order for Jordan Love to also be the reason for optimism.
I think the case for pessimism they're making is those guys don't reach their potential or continue to grow, which then holds back the team as a whole, and then Jordan Love. Like, I think it's two totally opposite cases. And they do seem to mention in there as well just young overall. Like, there's a lot of young guys that are going to be key contributors.
You mean on both sides of the ball?
Yes, all over the place.
Which can be... We saw it go well the second half of the season, but for the first half, it was a big issue all over the field.
Yeah, they've got a lot of young guys learning a new defense. And on that side of the football, they're going to be relying on a lot of young guys over there. And again, it goes back to, I think this is also kind of saying what I've been saying all week, like just the lack of stars, the lack of, and some of these young guys can develop into stars. I'm not saying that.
Not all of them are, though.
But not all of them are.
Not
But
all
you
of
need,
them are.
but you need some of them to develop into stars.
Correct.
That's what they need. And right now, you have a lack of proven high-end talent.
See, I'm going to say, I would say the run defense because they sucked at the run defense under Barry. Okay, you're going to be more aggressive.
Like the last time they were good at run defense was 2014.
No, I know, but like if they cannot stop the run, Gabe, on Friday, this game is over with a capital O. If they can't stop Saquon and they can't stop Jalen Hurts, it is going to be San Francisco 2.0.
But let me ask you a question, Chu, because that feels like a very unique dynamic that the Eagles have. I don't know that they're going to see a 1-2 punch like that throughout the season.
Well,
but what does it matter if they beat up on Carolina?
Guess who's waiting for him the next week?
Yeah.
JT.
Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson.
Yeah. I mean, teams don't want to run the ball, but if you let them run the ball, they're going to run the ball. There's a lot of stuff packed into that.
Am I a bad person that when you said with a capital, I was hoping you were going to say a different letter than O?
What did you think I was going to say?
I don't know. I was just rooting that you were going to somehow spell over wrong.
Okay. I'm not going to spell it for spite.
But
Jen's shaking her
that's
head.
not like a word like knife where you could mess it up. Like,
well, I know that's why it would have been funny.
Over.
I mean, is there really a need for the
Sounds
K? I mean, when you think about it.
Yes.
When God was making the alphabet or spelling words, why did he put a K there?
You think God
Just
created the
Okay,
alphabet?
all right.
I know
I don't want to get into theology.
Yeah, Catholic boy over
Yeah,
here.
I don't wanna
God
dive
created
into
the
it.
heavens
But
and
think
earth.
about it.
But
God
Why-
invented the alphabet.
when God was creating the earth, it's not like, and on the 8th day he invented English.
But
Like,
why a K?
English was
But why
long...
a K? It makes no sense whatsoever. What you could have got the exact same thing and saved so much ink by just putting an N-I-F-E. Explain to me what the hell is the need for a K?
Explain to me why you're saving ink. Who are you saving?
Because we used to have pens back in school and think of all the K's that kids had to
Think
write
of the guys
down.
who had the quills and had to dip it, Jen.
Yes.
Think of those guys.
Yeah, think of the big guys,
Stop
though,
being
who want you to run out of ink sooner so that you buy more pens.
good
They
point.
are
Look,
pro-K. I'll tell you what, they're pro-K.
The big guys know full well you ain't ever running out of ink. You're losing the pen before you lose the ink.
We can't gloss over the implication that God invented the alphabet and then did it wrong.
Yeah, I can't tell now if you're a good Catholic or a bad Catholic.
I mean, he's Catholic. There's
We gotta take a break. I can't feel my abs. No, I can feel them. They're just hurting. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, more after this.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
That's the idea of a deal. Each side gets wins, right? They have Jordan Love under contract for the next 5 years.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino.
I think Packers fans would sign up for 12-5 today, and maybe they will be.
Right here on 94.5 ESPN and also streaming live on the Wisconsin On Demand app and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Jen Latta here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I have told you about the delicious pizza you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate. Now there's even more to be excited about with new sandwiches on the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy options like the turkey pesto, the meatball hero, the Italian hoagie, and more. Skip the same old lunch at your desk and grab a delicious sandwich from Proof instead. Order inside the restaurant or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
All right, sports fans, let's talk stats. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. And of those men, many will experience bladder leaks. That's why Depend is partnering with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage getting screened. Because if caught early, prostate cancer is up to 99% treatable. I like those odds. Depend is also donating to prostate cancer research for select purchases now through November. Learn more at Depend.com. From September through November, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation. For Depend Shields, guards, real fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000. Void in Mississippi.
Guys, let's be honest. We like simple stuff. We like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated and uncompromising. Like an award-winning men's grooming experience from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek on Howell Avenue, just south of Putes Road. Open 7 days a week, even Sundays. Walk in anytime, and before you know it, our talented stylist will bring you back to a simpler time. A time when you were handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Oak Creek on Howell Avenue, just south of Putes Road. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked it awesome.
UW Credit Union presents the Prep Mania Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every U. Learn more at uwcu.org. Here's Dennis Semrau with the UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Our UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, Aaron Schauer, Madison Edgewood High School. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Now, you had the fortune last year of going to state in 3 sports, but the first one, cross country, that was your first year, right? You had done volleyball for a couple years?
Yeah, I decided to do cross country, especially with my track season in my sophomore year. I ended up switching a little bit to distance towards the end of the year, and I knew cross country would probably get me in shape for basketball, so kind of went into it with that mindset and actually ended up really enjoying it.
What was it like to be part of a state championship basketball team?
Yeah, it was like a perfect experience. Going to any state championship, you're going into it with a mindset of just enjoying your time there and being proud of all you've done. But that team, I mean, we had our eyes set on a bigger goal, and it was super awesome to have such a young team, but also have some great senior leaders and to rely on them as well.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss for Road America. The best place in Elkhart Lake is America's National Park of Speed. Make the most out of your summer at Road America. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road course that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Up next, the Aaron's Art on Wheels weekend, September 13th through the 15th. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com. That's roadamerica.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Thanks, Ernie. I'm going to Venmo you that money right after the show.
You can't. You don't know how to use Venmo.
Made my workload much less. But Ernie,
you don't know how to
Ernie,
do it, and I don't know
does
how to
it ever?
On 94.5 ESPN.
It's football season. You know what that means. I will be enjoying my Celsius energy drink, which fuels my active lifestyle with their game day energy. Drink Celsius like I do, and like Travis Hunter, Jalen Milroe, Dylan Gabriel, and others in college football do as well. Explore all 27 refreshing flavors, sparkling or non-carbonated. There is a Celsius for every taste on game day, including my favorite, the Peach Vibe. Although, guys, I got a case of the cherry cola sitting in my house. Chaser, my 15-year-old, tried it yesterday, said it was delicious, so that is next on the old list when it comes to Celsius. Stay active and energized all game day long.
In here, huh?
With Celsius by your side. Celsius, live fit. You're into the cherry cola?
So I don't drink a lot of soda. About the only time I do is when we go to the movies, and if it has like cherry Pepsi, game over.
Angie loves the orange something. Orange
Crush?
Orange something. Loves them.
Dreamsicle?
Like the Celsius flavor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Very delicious.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Quite a few issues out on the road. We've got an accident on westbound 94 right about at 175 or in the stadium interchange off on the left shoulder, slowing things down out of the Marquette. We've also got a crash on the off-ramp to 76th Street from 894 westbound. Delays heading through that area anyway. We've got backups basically from the county line through the Hale interchange to the accident scene. Westbound on 894 as usual from about 27th Street all the way to 68th. And then we got some backups eastbound 94 from Elmhurst Road to Highway 16 and then from the Zoo interchange to 35th Street. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles. Add Kringle to your football tailgate and make your friends and family happy. Order at kringle.com or call 1-800-4DANISH. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast today, early sunshine, then increasing clouds, chance for showers and isolated storms, a high of 84 tonight. Slight chance for a shower, mostly cloudy with a low of 58. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Do you remember that electric moment when you suddenly realized that she was the one?
The one you were going to love forever. The one you'd been waiting your whole life to meet.
She is the one.
The one. Now it's time to find the one engagement ring that sparkles like she does.
Come to Kessler's Diamonds. We have a collection of incredibly special diamond engagement rings called the One Collection.
You need one special engagement ring for the one woman you will ever love.
Kessler's Diamonds is the one jewelry store where you can find the One Collection.
And Kessler's is the one store that offers the world-famous, no excuses, no fine print, lifetime warranty on every diamond engagement ring we sell.
We have the freedom to do this for you because Kessler's Diamonds is the one diamond store owned by its employees.
The One Collection starts at just $550.
Welcome to Kessler's.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Who do you think is good enough
to what?
Win a Super Bowl.
Who do I think's good enough?
This is good stuff.
George, we need to talk.
What?
I really think we need to talk.
No, because I wanted to do who's good enough to make the playoffs, because I think there's a lot of parity in the league this year for some reason.
She wants to talk. She doesn't want to talk. She needs to talk. Nobody needs to talk. Who would want to? She tried to end it with me, Jerry. What'd you do? I told her I was out of soda. I went out to get some and I never went back.
Is that a lot of parity in the league?
Yeah, but the problem is there's a lot in that middle. There's not a lot on the top end, which is why you had a hard time answering the question, who can win the Super Bowl? You've done a really good job of avoiding Josh's question. I'll give you that.
He wants me to say Buffalo. I ain't saying Buffalo.
No, he doesn't want you to say Buffalo. He wants you
to
to give a team, a single team that can win the Super Bowl.
Start calling you Twinkle Toes the way you danced out of that one.
Can you believe it? I'm supposed to be having lunch with her right now at Pomodoro.
Uh-oh. Everybody breaks up at Pomodoro's.
So, what am I going to do?
You really like this girl?
No, I like the ball. This is my one chance to make a great entrance.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
I don't want to tell you what to do, but if you missed the end of hour one, you should go back and listen on Wisconsin On Demand. It was an all-timer from the big guy. And we had folks weighing in. I appreciate this response from Ron in the Key saying, imagine Team Jesus guy questioning the spelling of things with a name like Chamorro.
Got a point.
What letter is silent in there, by the way?
All of them. Well, it needs a vowel.
It needs another vowel.
Yeah.
It's the CHM, I think, that really
Yeah.
messes people up. And then Ryan from Iguanago weighing in saying, God, comma, what a loser. So if you missed any of that, you can find it on Wisconsin On Demand or wherever you get your podcasts. We have been talking about the Green Bay Packers. We'll get to those Brewers as well. Dropped another one last night in extra innings to the Cardinals. Not great, Bob, but we'll discuss that as the morning goes on as well. Jordan Love MVP. You know, we did the show last night, Weekly Wager. I wasn't there, but Ben Brust and Greg Matzik did the show last night. And you can get pretty good odds for the MVP race. Jordan Love, guys, though, is a very hot pick to be the MVP. I actually liked something that I think Greg Matzik said last night, guys, about Jared Goff. You should consider Jared Goff as an MVP candidate because, Gabe, to your point yesterday, didn't you say the Lions have 14 out of 17 games
Correct.
in controlled environments,
Yes.
in domes? He performs very well in domes. If the Lions do end up being the NFC representative in the Super Bowl, which we hope does not happen, he would have a pretty easy runway to an MVP candidacy.
Yeah, if they get, if they end up with the top speed, oh man, that would be... With all the weapons that they have in all those domes, Goff would be... My guess is there's some pretty good value on Jared Goff if we're talking about Pato.
Not to take money away from our friends at Pato, but if you want to make that bet, I'll be the book for you because that's not happening.
Is there gush for C.J. Stroud?
Ooh, I haven't seen it.
Because he had, for a rookie, he had a hell of a year.
Yeah, I would say there's some
think
gush.
he's going to get better.
Yeah.
I just meant from an MVP standpoint.
That's what
are
I'm
you
saying.
seeing? Yeah, that's what I thought. Are you
I believe
seeing
his odds are either the exact same or higher.
Or slightly.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mhm.
Over Love?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just slightly, I would
Yeah,
say. It's
like-
not like galaxies. It's
Okay.
$50 or something.
Let's play the hypothetical here. Let's say that Jordan Love is the MVP. At season's end, at the NFL Honors, he is standing on that stage holding the MVP trophy. Now, you could make the argument that, no, we don't want him standing on the stage holding the MVP trophy, because that means he's not in the Super Bowl. I know. This is a hypothetical. Just stay with me here for a moment. What would the Packers' record have to be, Chew, for Jordan Love to be the MVP of the league this year?
11-6, 12-5. I think that'd be enough.
Do they need to be better than that?
13-4. They got to win the division.
Oh, you think so?
They got to win the division. Have to win the division. It seems like the MVP award has been for the last handful of years now. You have to have a top 2 seed in your conference. So, I mean, obviously, you win your division. So, top 2 seed in your conference, really good quarterback, you got a chance to win it. That's what the NFL MVP has come. So, if they're 11-6, they're not going to have a top 2 seed in the NFC. And Jordan Love can't win the MVP.
Yeah, but what if the defense isn't, let's say the defense is 14-15, and the offense clearly carries this team, then there's a shot. Now, Mahomes, you can almost, I don't want to say take Mahomes out of the equation, but they're, I believe, a team that's like, you know what, let's go 11-6. Make the playout. They're
run through the
kind
playoffs.
Of the NBA
Sure.
model.
Yeah,
they don't panic.
Their
they're
division
fine.
stinks.
I'm looking at Get Up on the screen above us right now. It says ESPN Analytics have Kansas City with the second best chance to win the Super Bowl at 12% behind
San Fran,
16%.
Yeah.
That's ESPN Analytics there. Is there voter fatigue like there is in the NBA? Obviously, Giannis is the great example of that. He puts up numbers better than he had done in his MVP seasons, and yet is not the MVP winner. Is there voter fatigue like Patrick Mahomes has been year in and year out, this guy who has won the MVP? Is there a part of you that thinks like he probably will earn it, but could not get it because of the voter fatigue?
No. That doesn't exist in the NFL.
You don't think there's quarterback fatigue?
In the NFL?
But it's always going to go to a quarterback.
Yeah.
If Christian
I'm kinda sick of
McCaffrey
it.
didn't
I
win the
understand
MVP.
you're sick of it, but I can't imagine what somebody would have to do to win an MVP that's a non-quarterback.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
McCaffrey, it felt like, was the candidate over, right? Was it last year?
Last year. And his year wasn't like...
It wasn't great?
it was really good, but it wasn't like when Derrick Henry ran for 2,000 yards and didn't...
Yeah, but Derrick Henry's not catching the ball out of the backfield like McCaffrey is. McCaffrey is a dual threat.
Yeah,
I would take,
and he didn't have 2,000,
I would
didn't
take,
have his best
listen, I would
season.
take
Yeah.
I would take Christian McCaffrey in his prime over Derrick Henry in his prime.
Interesting pivot.
That's okay.
You wouldn't?
No, I'd take the guy who leads the league in yards after contact.
That's why I'm
that's
like,
the
all right,
second highest rushing total
Josh
in the league.
Jacobs, great running back, but I think Aaron Jones and what he does receiving the ball out of the backfield closes that gap quite a bit.
What if I told you that their yards per reception are shockingly similar over the course of their career?
I would be surprised. Well, you don't watch Josh Jacobs because the Raiders stink.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now, their yards per reception and catches per game.
Yeah, but is that
shockingly
because the Raiders no weapons? They had Devontae and they had because Waller was gone.
Yeah. But I'm
Devontae
saying over the course of his career.
Yeah.
So obviously Waller was there, and Hunter Renfrow was a big part of that offense once upon a time. Over his career, he has been an underrated pass catcher.
And people don't know that because the Raiders are not on primetime.
Correct.
Ever.
We don't watch the Raiders because they stink.
Correct. Yes. Okay.
He is,
All right.
he is
I
an
did not know
underrated.
that.
He is an underrated pass catcher.
You know what I'm interested in, Joshy? When you said that you don't think Jared Goff will win the MVP, why is that?
He's not. He doesn't make his team. He's not the guy like these other guys that are listed above him. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Josh Allen. He's not Joe Burrow. He's not a game breaker. He is a guy who goes out and does what he's asked. Not much more. He can also be the reason quite often that they lose games.
So is he a game manager? Just to go back to
I
the
think
previous
he is,
conversation that we had, is Jared Goff
I
a
think
game
he's on the
manager
high
example?
end. I think he's in that Kirk Cousins, but I also think he's not. He's not special.
Who would you take, Jared Goff or Purdy? I still can't buy
That's
into
like the
Purdy.
same guy to me.
Yeah.
It's a Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
It's the same picture.
Yeah, when they have good teams around them, like they both do, they can both be very effective quarterbacks. But when you're talking about like MVPs and the guys who have historically won him, they all are like Hall of Fame level.
I think I would still take Purdy just because, like, some of the throws he made against the Packers in their comeback last year in that divisional game, I don't know if I've seen Goff's make some of those throws. Like, there were some pretty special throws from Purdy there. Like, he can still grow into something really, really good.
He's got so many weapons, though.
Yeah,
Dave.
but like
he's got unbelievable across the board.
You could also make the argument that having all of those weapons and knowing what the right play is, what the right read is a skill, right? As opposed to having one guy, Devontae Adams, who you're giving the bulk of your passes to. There is something to be said for getting the ball to the right guy on each play.
Well, the thing is, one of them's going to win. It's just where are they at in the progression. And didn't he finish like best in that test they had now that they have at the Combine where reaction time, Stroud was terrible and Purdy was the best as far as recognizing things and
now that you've said that out loud, I believe that you are correct in that. I believe there is some truth to Brock Purdy having had the best score in some test, quote unquote.
Like from an athletic standpoint.
But the one that you said Stroud that wasn't an athletic test. That was a cognitive test.
Yeah.
And that has since
it's a fraud.
Been debunked.
But that's why, and I played with guys that run like a deer but they can't read things fast enough. I'm talking from a tight end standpoint. Like, dude, you have to read that so much faster. You don't have a second and a half to read that. You got to read that in 0.03 of a second and then go. So if Purdy, which he's not an athlete, he doesn't have the strongest arm. His intangible, are they intangible or tangibles? I don't know what the hell. Doesn't matter. Knife still pisses me off. But if he can go. Nope, not one, not two. I know McCaffrey's going to be open on the backside. It's the guys that sit there and go, are you going to get open? Okay,
where's
now
the window?
To 2.
Yeah.
Okay, now go to 3. I think if you put him in an offense where guys don't get open, like Josh, he's saying, all I'm saying is I could not pay that guy $65 million a year. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be interested in it.
I don't know if you move on or what do you do.
Yeah, those are your options. You pay him $60 million or you move on.
What are you doing?
I'm paying him.
Even when they lose Kittle and they lose and McCaffrey's on the backside, you think he's good enough to carry a team to go?
I mean, I'm going to find out. I'm not going to be the one who moves on from a quarterback and then he goes and does great things elsewhere because I'm not going to be in a position when it's time to move on from him to draft somebody else who's going to be better.
I really appreciate how you have recalculated our route here, by the way, GPS. Holy moly. It's like I want to have a conversation with Joshy exclusively about why Jared Goff can't win the MVP if he leads his team to the NFC Championship game, but Jordan Love can win the MVP if he leads his team to the National Championship game. And basically you're saying because Jordan Love is special and Jared Goff is not.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I would agree.
And I think we have a long history of seeing the heights. Like, if Jared Goff's best season is behind him, it would shock literally no one.
It can be done. Hold on. It can be done.
Yeah, go ahead. Fine.
Tell me the one player that did it. 10 years ago. Maybe 12. Tell me the one player who did it 12 years ago.
Okay, wait. What's the question?
Who won the MVP that was a Jared Goff or just a guy?
So you're talking 20 years ago.
It might be if you're.
I was going to say 10
because it's Rich Gannon.
Thank you. Thank you. It can be done, but are you sitting here going, "Oh my God, Rich Gannon was a hell of a quarterback"?
They went to the Super Bowl. He had a lot of weapons.
Sure.
For clarification's sake, if the question is ever about just a guy who did something extraordinary at the quarterback position, the answer is always Rich Gannon or Trent Dilfer.
Yes.
Just plug it in, guys. Those are the answers. We got to take a break here on Jen
Rich
Gabe and
Gannon
Shuey.
won the league MVP a decade ago?
Was it?
Was
it 20 years?
I did see a meme recently that said something similar. It was like 1990 was 10 years ago, 2000 was 5 years ago, and it's
Look,
like it's.
I'm just trying to make myself feel younger. Okay.
Fighting with God about knife is not the way to do it.
He created my brain, so ultimately he cannot be mad at me.
Look. A decade ago is when the Packers lost the NFC Championship game because Brandon Bostic couldn't recover an onside kick. That was 10 years ago.
2002 was the MVP
Rich Gannon year.
for Rich Gannon. 22 years ago.
Thank you.
He really appreciates it. Your home, your future, our priority. Your home is more than just a house. It is your future. Great Midwest Bank prioritizes your dream, ensuring your mortgage process is smooth and stress-free. You know there's lots of stressors in the home buying process, but your mortgage should not be one of them. Apply for your home mortgage loan at Great Midwest Bank, and you will experience a state of banquility when you find out how easy the process is. Great Midwest Bank, simply local since 1935.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Still dealing with an accident on westbound 94 right in the stadium interchange. Looks like it's off on the right shoulder, so watch out for that. Backups coming out of the 16th Street area. We've also got this other accident on the off-ramp to 76th Street from 894 westbound, so just be aware of that. We've got backups all the way through to the Mitchell interchange anyways because of the construction zone. Speaking of construction zones, eastbound 94 is backed up from Meadowbrook Road all the way to about Highway 16. You'll be back on the brakes then from about 92nd Street all the way through to about 35th Street. Traffic is brought to you by Racine Danish Kringles. Add Kringle to your football tailgate and make your friends and family happy. Order at kringle.com or call 1-800-4DANISH. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Early sunshine, then increasing clouds. Chance for showers and isolated storms, a high of 84. Tonight, slight chance for a shower, mostly cloudy with a low of 58. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
The Jen, Gabe, and Chewy podcast is sponsored by Celsius Energy Drink, and I am here to tell you it makes a huge difference in my mornings. With a unique blend of essential energy and key vitamins, Celsius is your partner to an active lifestyle. My favorite, the Peach Vibe. Learn more at Celsius.com and pick up Celsius Energy Drinks today.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as I tried writing this radio commercial on my phone, that darn autocorrect always seemed to give me fits. Which got me thinking, if you're looking for a stress-free, painless, wow, that was easy home mortgage process, give Great Midwest Bank a try. Find an experienced loan officer at greatmidwestbank.com to guide you to a state of banquility. Yeah, autocorrect would have never caught that one. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman here for Carbless, my go-to drink this summer. Handcrafted right here in Wisconsin, Carbless is a ready-to-drink vodka and tequila cocktail. Perfect for hanging out on the patio by the grill, chilling on the lake, or tailgating at the Brewers game. Plus, it's got 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. All summer, make sure you're following Carbless on Instagram at Drink Carbless for your chance to win a Summer Bliss prize package. Find Carbless online and at retailers near you. Carbless. Liss is more.
September baseball is coming, and every Brewers game means even more this time of year. Get to American Family Field as the crew takes on the Rockies September 6th through the 8th. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
All right, sports fans, let's talk stats. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer. And of those men, many will experience bladder leaks. That's why Depend is partnering with the Prostate Cancer Foundation to encourage getting screened. Because if caught early, prostate cancer is up to 99% treatable. I like those odds. Depend is also donating to prostate cancer research for select purchases now through November. Learn more at Depend.com. From September through November, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation. For Depend Shields, Guards, Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000. Void in Mississippi.
At Gruber Law Offices, we've helped tens of thousands of families after a serious accident. Our priority has always been our clients. We're here for you whenever you may need us. One call, that's all.
If you love sports betting, you have to make your way to the sportsbook at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. It has everything a sports fanatic could want and more. And if you're listening to the Weekly Wager, Greg Matzik, Ben Brust, and myself will be giving you our best bets every week for you to make a little coin. at Potawatomi. If you're in a rush, they have free 20-minute reserved parking spaces near the Skywalk. They have figured it all out, and if you haven't been to the sportsbook yet, what in the world are you waiting for? The season starts tonight. Great opportunity to get down there and take in some games. It's a new era of sports betting at Potawatomi, so get in on the action.
The top 8 at 8.
Name something that follows the word pork. You pie. Huh?
One category.
Name something people take with them to the beach. Turkey.
The top 8 answers.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8.
A food often stuffed. Turkey.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken.
Show me chicken.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Gabe, what do we got?
With the NFL season kicking off, list of 8 things in front of me. And, of course, whoever closes out this list, 800-990-3776, will get a free foursome to the Wisconsin Country Club. Check it out, thewisconsincountryclub.com if you want to join me and be a member out there. But I have the last 8 Super Bowl MVPs. The last 8 players to win Super Bowl MVP.
Okay. Guess it would help to know who won the Super Bowl for the last 8 years. Right?
Might need even more than that.
Might need even more than that?
Well, one's a layup.
I understand. I don't always, but in this case I do. Patrick Mahomes.
Is number 1, 3-time Super Bowl MVP. Of course, won the last 2 Super Bowl MVPs.
That's why you meant more than 8.
Correct. And then was the Super Bowl MVP back in 2020 as well.
Ooh, I did not remember that.
Let's go Stafford.
Matthew Stafford is not on the list.
Have you seen that
winner with
Britney
the
Spears gif? That's what I was just doing there.
No?
With my face.
Who won it with the Rams?
I can't give you that.
Well, it's not a quarterback.
Because his name is on the list.
Oh.
You want a mulligan?
Yeah.
Okay. How about Tom Brady? Can we go with Tom Brady?
Tom Brady, number 3 on the list.
Oh, so this is... Oh, that
he
was...
He won the MVP with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And with
also
the Patriots.
with the Patriots twice.
Yeesh,
on
how far
this
back
list.
does that go? How far back is Brady's?
His last one on the list would have been 2015. So 2015, 2017, 2021.
Let's go Nick Foles.
Nick Foles won
good
the
one.
Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl 52.
Hold on. To that point, I did see a text about Nick
5 on
Foles.
the
We were
list.
talking about just guys, right? You were talking about Trent Dilfer and who was the other one? Gannon.
Rich Gannon.
Thank you. Justin weighing in saying, I would add Nick Foles to the ultimate guy who did something special at quarterback. So, yes, Nick Foles, MVP of that Super Bowl.
I guess this goes back a little way.
Well, he said Tom Brady is on a bunch of them.
Yeah, so Tom Brady, last one, again, Super Bowl 49. And Nick
So
Foles,
all I'm trying to do is think of who would have won the MVP the year that the Rams won that Stafford did not get it.
need an answer.
I'm just trying to think of who's on that team. Was it Cooper Kupp?
Mm-mm. Go defense. Go defense.
Aaron
Buffalo
Donald?
Bills. No, Buffalo Bills.
I don't know. These are guesses, guys. These are actual guesses. I don't know.
Want help?
So are these guesses? What are we doing here?
Yes, it's Cooper Kupp is my guess.
Okay, that's a
Cooper
bad
Kupp is number 2 on the list.
He won the MVP?
Super Bowl MVP in 2022, and the Rams won it. Yes.
Oh, that was a good guess.
When I guessed it, Joshy threw up a thumbs up in the production office, so I knew I was on the right track.
I just had one.
What are we doing over here?
It was a legitimate guess. So he was saying, like, yeah, you got it right. But then you were like, is that a guess?
Well, because you moved off of it so quickly.
He said, go defense, go defense.
He won it with Denver.
Who?
You know who.
I need a name.
I'm not going there.
I believe
I'm not
I was
going
with
there.
him
Joe
this past
Flacco.
week. No, I wasn't with Joe Flacco this past
Joe
weekend.
Flacco is number 8 on the list.
What?
Joe Flacco, Super Bowl MVP. back in 2013.
Can you
Super
please
Bowl
reset
47.
the list very quickly?
Patrick Mahomes is 1, Cooper Kupp is 2, Tom Brady 3, don't have 4, Nick Foles is 5, 6 and 7 are blank, and Joe Flacco is number 8.
Number 6 is the ultimate trivia answer.
So I know because I was with him this past weekend at Texas A&M, Von Miller was a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of.
That's who I thought you were thinking of.
Yes.
And then you guessed Joe Flacco. So I don't have any idea what's happening right now. That is an official guess game.
Von Miller won Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 50. So you guys just have 4 and 7 left.
So it's a DB from New England.
It's a good thing Jess Sims mentioned that in our production meeting, huh? Woohoo!
That's the trivia one. What the hell was his name?
I have no idea.
It was like the guy from Dallas. That was a nobody. Super Bowl 30. I think his last name was Brown.
I mean, no, that's incorrect.
We're just guessing like generic names, like
Smith.
Do you have a guess, Jen?
I do not have a guess.
4 or 7.
4 or 7? Crap. No, I don't know. There's no way.
800-990-3776. We open it up to the fans. Whoever gets the last
What do you mean?
on the list.
I know who it was.
You always say that. Write it on your plate.
Get the
Where's your plate?
foursome to Wisconsin Country Club.
Put it
He
on the
doesn't
plate.
need a plate because he's got
a whiteboard.
He's
now.
got his whiteboard.
Give me your whiteboard. Let's see. Let's go out to Joshy. Who should we go out to first here? Usually I go by when they called in, but these gentlemen have all called in at the same time.
Let's just start off with John here.
All right, let's go with John in Milwaukee. John, you're up first on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
Can you guys reset the list for me, please?
Number 1 is Patrick Mahomes. Number 2 is Cooper Kupp. 3 is Tom Brady. Don't have 4. 5, Nick Foles.
You know what I'm talking about?
6, Von Miller. 8 is Joe Flacco. Don't have 7.
All right. Julian Edelman.
Julian Edelman is the Super Bowl MVP.
Wow.
That I think Chewy was trying to get to eventually.
Did you try Gilmore?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. Different side of the ball. Meaning we just have 1 left.
Right. Malcolm Smith.
Malcolm Smith, a linebacker from the Seattle Seahawks.
What?
Was the
I
Super
kinda
Bowl
remember that.
MVP
Would have never
in
got
Super Bowl 40.
But he guessed Smith. When he was guessing random names, he said Brown and he said Smith. Now he was going to say Johnson next. And he was going to say, he was just going to run through the most popular last names. Chewy gets an assist on that one.
Yeah.
No.
You get nothing, and you'll like it.
You get absolutely nothing. So that's it. That's the lists. Congratulations.
That was good.
You and yourself a foursome to the Wisconsin Country Club.
That's a good list.
It was harder than I thought.
I'll never forget Malcolm Smith winning the MVP for like the
Really?
rest of my, just because it's such a strange name to have as a Super Bowl MVP.
That's a terrible. Was that the one in New York?
I don't know if it was in. It was a blowout. Like, because that was when Manning was the MVP of the league, had this huge year in Denver.
And he was terrible.
And then they just because he was terrible when they won. He was actually good the year that they, and I mean, he was
okay.
terrible in the Super Bowl because they lost like 48-10
Was
or
that the
whatever
year
it was.
his first pass was a pick?
I believe
Remember
so.
in the end zone? Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I believe so.
Good list by
Yeah.
Gabe. We roll on here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning a visit to Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. It is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee with deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music. You'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. You can learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got a few less accidents now to deal with. Just one, as a matter of fact. 894 westbound on the 76th Street off-ramp. That's still being worked on, so keep that in mind. Still slow out of the Mitchell interchange to that point. But all the other accidents have been cleared up, so we're just left with some delays. Southbound 43 from Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. Northbound 4394 coming out of the Mitchell interchange all the way around the Plainfield curve up to Oklahoma Avenue. And eastbound 94 heavy from Elmhurst Road past Highway 16. Back on the brakes from 92nd Street to about 35th. Traffic is brought to you by Johnson & Sons Paving. Follow their 3 R's of asphalt maintenance to avoid minor issues becoming huge headaches. Reseal, repair, and replace. Learn more at johnsonsonspaving.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, early sunshine, then increasing clouds. Chance for showers or isolated storms, a high of 84. Tonight, slight chance for a shower, mostly cloudy with a low of 58. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
$1 million. That's big, really big. This September, Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee is handing out a cool million, and you've got a shot at winning your share. The big $1 million giveaway is here. Just play with your rewards card and you're entered to win. Couldn't be easier and couldn't be bigger. No wonder it's called the Big One. For more details, visit paysbig.com/big one. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Is your business looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been looking forward to the future and helping businesses shape what's next for 165 years and for the last 15 here in Milwaukee. They offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making capabilities, and extensive experience to help navigate the complexities of a constantly changing business market environment. With your business in mind, commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC.
Ever dreamed of teeing off inside American Family Field? Now's your chance with Upper Deck Golf. From November 7th through the 9th, experience a one-of-a-kind round of golf, hitting tee shots from the upper deck throughout the stadium to custom greens below. Enjoy VIP treatment with great music, cold beers, food, and golf challenges at the Clubhouse Festival inside the stadium. Upper Deck is open to all ages, but tee times are limited, so book now. Head to upperdeckgolfing.com to book a tee time today.
Jen Latta here from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. I have told you about the delicious pizza you can find at Proof Pizza inside St. Kate. Now there's even more to be excited about with new sandwiches on the menu. Available every day from 11 to 4, you can enjoy options like the turkey pesto, the meatball hero, the Italian hoagie, and more. Skip the same old lunch at your desk and grab a delicious sandwich from Proof instead. Order inside the restaurant or directly from the bar at St. Kate. Explore the new sandwiches and the rest of the menu at proofpizzamke.com.
Milwaukee College Prep, dedicated to closing the opportunity gap for children in Milwaukee, redefining what's educationally possible so more children can pursue their dreams. Join me, Good Karma Brand's founder CEO Craig Karmazin, and Milwaukee College Prep Thursday, October 17th, and take a stand in closing the opportunity gap for Milwaukee scholars. Your support means quality education accessible to over 2,000 scholars in Milwaukee's most challenged communities. Milwaukee College Prep is closing the opportunity gap. To learn more and purchase tickets, go to MilwaukeeCollegePrep.com and click support.
WTMJ's Brandon Snide for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson as they are hosting their 3rd annual Medal of Honor ride this Saturday, September 7th. Join NAM Knight's Brew City chapter for a ride from the War Memorial Center in Milwaukee to Wisconsin Harley-Davidson in Oconomowoc. Enjoy music, food, and vendors supporting our veterans and police officers. Registration begins at 9 a.m. with the ride leaving at 11. Check out their website, WISHD.com, or like and follow them on Facebook and Instagram. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
If it's gotten to the point...
I don't think shower.
What do you mean? What do you mean you're not going to take a shower? You just told me you're offended by your own BO.
No, but I think it's deodorant, Gabe. Showering does nothing. It really doesn't.
You are wrong.
Because...
You must be showering wrong.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Just let me cry a little bit longer. I ain't gonna smile if I don't want.
Another frustrating loss for the Milwaukee Brewers last night. Cardinals beating them in extras again. And it was very similar to the previous game where Brewers were down, they rallied back, put some runs on the board, made it interesting, pushed it to extras, and then fell short. I am not panicking about the Brewers, but there are some things, Gabe, that I do think I'd like to see them shore up. The runners in scoring position situation has not been great over the last few nights. I feel like the last week or so. Is that just a fluky thing, or is that something you can?
Fluky thing.
So there's no reason to worry that they have been stranding runners with the chance to win the game.
That happens throughout the course of a season. I mean, the Brewers The Brewers, if you want to talk about clutch numbers, driving in runners with 2 outs, runners in scoring position have been very good all season long. Like, it stinks that they lost these last 2 games, and that's kind of putting a little bit more space between them and Philadelphia, making that series with the Phillies ever so more important because they need to catch up on that ground. But, I mean, this is an example of why, because a couple of fluky things, as good as they've been all season in some of these situations, you need to catch the Phillies and avoid the best 2 out of 3.
So what do you do if it's not attainable? Do you shut guys down? Do you rest them? Do you not play them? Or is it just...
I mean, the only way it's going to be... I mean, I don't see the Phillies just absolutely pulling away from the Brewers.
But that one stretch is huge, right?
You're not going to be officially eliminated from doing that until the last week of the season.
By that one stretch, too, you mean the Philadelphia-Arizona stretch.
Correct. Like if they go 500 there, say it's kind of out of reach. You know, like the NFL. If you already clinched your spot, you're shutting all your guys down, essentially.
Yeah.
They don't do that in baseball?
Not really, because you want to stay in the routine. I mean, could you get hurt? But sure, it's not. But it's not like the NFL, you know. It's not a car crash on every play.
For whatever it's worth, Philadelphia has won their last 4. The Brewers have lost their last 2. The difference in the loss column is 3 games right now between the Phillies and the Brewers. What is interesting, though, and I don't know exactly when this was thrown out there, so maybe it was before the Brewers lost a couple to the Cardinals. Maybe it was yesterday. Who knows? But the Brewers actually have, and get the sounder ready, Joshy, the best odds to win the World Series. Now,
it was as of Wednesday.
As of right now, it is still true over at Baseball Reference.
Oh, thank you very much for updating that. So that is very interesting. The list includes the Brewers, the Astros, the Dodgers, the Phillies, and the Cleveland Guardians. The Brewers have 12.7%. The Astros have 12.2%. The Dodgers have 11.2%. The Phillies have 11%. And the Guardians have 10%. How does it work? Explain this to me like I'm 5, Gabe, if you can. That the Dodgers and the Phillies are ahead of the Brewers in the standings, but are behind the Brewers in the percentages.
Have no idea how Baseball Reference calculates that, but right now they have a 12.5% chance of winning the World Series ahead of the Astros, who fell to 11.6.
Oh, because this is fluid. The numbers I'm looking at were from were from yesterday, and these are the updated ones after yesterday's outcomes. Chewy, does it surprise you that Baseball Reference, not some rando site out there that's just like, pro Brewers, gushing Brewers, Baseball Reference is saying they have the best percentage odds to win, not get to, win the World Series.
22.4% chance to get to the World Series.
Is it
1 in 5.
surprising?
Think about that. 1 in 5 chance that the Brewers get to the World Series.
Will it change, though?
I mean, it's going to. It fluctuates day to day.
Yeah.
Right. So it's going to depend on how they do. Like if they go on a 7-game losing streak and lose their next 5 games, I'm guessing it won't be true that they have a 12.5% chance of winning.
Bit of a nosedive, if you will, right? Like,
but if they win the next 5, that's going to continue to rise.
They've got as good a shot as any of the top teams, and the percentage points aren't that. They're not separated by a lot. Maybe 2%.
0.2%, right?
It's very, very small.
I think the overall point to take away from this is there have been times, and I would say this even qualified maybe a bit last year, when you're like, man, how are they winning this many games? And I think you're doing that a little bit with this pitching staff, how are they doing it? But the pitching staff has been solid since the month of June. It has been.
Yeah.
It's just a fact of life. It's just a fact that their pitching staff has been really good. You don't accidentally get to September 5th and lead the league in run differential. Like this isn't a fluky team.
I agree.
This is a really damn good team.
But my concern is, Churio, who's hot as ever right now, cools off.
But here's the thing, Chu. He's not just hot. He's bleeping good.
Yeah. No, I know.
This goes back to June. This isn't just him having a hot month or 2. This is him being really
solid.
Good. This is him being one of the best, if not the best player in the National League since June 1st.
But did the playoffs change? In baseball, because we all hear in football, like, okay, regular season's this, and then it speeds up in the playoffs. Does that happen in baseball?
Yeah, because every pitch is means something, right?
Okay.
Like everybody's on the edge of the seat. And, managers are going to manage differently. You're going to have a shorter leash for your starters because the series is shorter and you have to win games. Whereas, somebody's getting lit up. You're like, okay, well, we can't go too deep into our bullpen today. We got to leave them out there. That doesn't happen. You're managing the game differently. It is speeding up. It is a different game, just like everything else once you get to the postseason.
I appreciate you saying that the runners in scoring position, which was an issue last night, I think I saw the number 0 for 15. I believe it was an issue in previous games. I believe it has been an issue that has cropped up occasionally. I appreciate you saying, don't worry, no worries, it's fine, it's a fluky thing. But couldn't it be something, Gabe, that crops up in the last stretch of this season? Couldn't it be something that crops up, God forbid, in the postseason and keeps them from winning a series, keeps them from rolling on?
They have one of the best offenses in baseball. You're going to have stretches like this. Yeah. And that's why you want to avoid 3-game series. Fluky things happen throughout the course of a 3-game series. So far over the first 120, 30 games, how many ever they've played, it has not really been that big of an issue for the Brewers.
So we're not there yet where you're like, come on, you got to beat St. Louis. We're not there yet.
No.
Okay. Because there are, they play Pittsburgh, I think, right before they play the Mets.
Mm-hmm.
And Pittsburgh's done.
Yeah. You want to win.
You got to win.
You want to win series, yes. It would have been nice to win one of the last 2 in extra innings when you had your opportunities. Instead, they have guys strike out 3 times. I do think it's awesome, though, that the Cardinals, each of the last 2 nights in extra innings, runner on in scoring position. Nope, we want nothing to do with Jackson. Put him on first base.
Yeah.
Want nothing to do. 4 of them. Put him out there. We're not pitching to this guy.
Well, but that's a reality when you're as hot as he is. That's what teams are going to do.
100%.
So it's great to get the guy on base, which again, we always know, the goal is to not get it out. It's great to get on base, but you have to know now they're not going to take the chance that he's going to hit a bomb, a 2-run bomb, a 3-run bomb, and put them in up against it like that. I will say this. And maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm overreacting. I was frustrated last night when they lost. I was frustrated the night before when they lost. Last night I stayed up, watched again, they went into extras both over the last 2 nights. I was like, what a missed opportunity. God bless it. You got to, I said you got to beat the Cardinals.
Yeah.
That's how I felt last night after that game. And maybe it was cumulative from the night before. Am I wrong for that, Gabe? I was very frustrated last night when I went to bed and they had lost for the 2nd straight night in extras to the Cardinals, a team they should be beating.
I don't think you should be very frustrated about anything quite yet. Because, again, that's how we get to Tausch declaring that they're not going to make the playoffs last year because they lost 2 games to the A's, right? It's just right now.
That was a lot earlier in the season, though.
But, right now it's still just 2 games. Nothing's out of reach. Nothing's impossible for them. You're going to lose back-to-back games. It happens in baseball. I promise you that everybody else that you're facing is going to lose back-to-back games at some point the rest of the season. Now, you had your opportunities, and yes, it stinks. It stings. But I don't think you should be, God bless America, I can't believe they did this again. I don't think you should be throwing anything. You could be disappointed. I don't think there's a level of frustration that should set in quite yet.
Even the best teams in baseball are going to lose 70 games during the course of a season. You get so invested, but you do have to take a step back.
But they got some tough series coming up.
Of course they do. And
you know what those other teams have?
Yeah.
Tough series.
Because they play in the Brewers.
I know.
Who's a damn good baseball team.
I know.
I figured out also, so the playoff and World Series odds are based on the last 100 games, and it's a simulation they run where basically they take what is the mean outcome of all of those. So through the last 100 games, the Baseball Reference is telling us the best team in baseball has been the Milwaukee Brewers because they have they most often come out on top.
You're right.
There you go. I like that.
So let me ask you this, guys. I got 2 choices here. What should I buy into more? Buy into Baseball Reference saying that the Milwaukee Brewers have the best chance of winning the World Series, which, by the way, would be enormous for the state of Wisconsin. I can't even tell you how huge that would be for Brewers fans, for Baseball Nation, all of that stuff. That feels like a conversation we don't even need to have. Or what I watched the last 2 nights of a team that did have pops of production, that did seem like they were in the game, and then lose it late in the thing. So you're telling me to dismiss the data points from the last 24 hours, the last 48 hours, and invest more in Baseball Reference telling me that the Brewers have been the best team over the last 100 games?
Correct.
Yeah.
Bigger sample size.
100 versus 2.
Yeah. That's how good the Brewers have been.
Oh, they've been unbelievable.
Yeah. They've been spectacular.
I also think it's really hard for us, especially with the football season starting today. Like, every game doesn't matter as much as it does at this point. Like, it doesn't matter the same way a 2-3 game win-loss streak in the NFL will matter. Like, this is just what happens. It's baseball. It's weird. Weird things happen.
But I want to remind, not you, but everybody that we want them to get the one or the two. We need them to get the one or the two. We feel much more confident in their ability to do what Baseball Reference is saying, win the World Series, if they get the one or the two. They're still in the 3. There is now more distance between them and the Phillies. And we would like to see that close over the next 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 weeks. You know that this is not my strong suit.
Counting?
Between him spelling and me counting, really we're just relying on Gabe to get us through those important details.
Yeah, I mean, they have more games left in their season than the Packers are going to play all year.
Yes.
Like that's still how much baseball there is left to be played. And you've got opportunity, against Colorado and San Francisco, in these next handful of games. Like, you've got an opportunity to
close the deal.
You go 5-1 over the next 6 games. Oh, all of a sudden we feel that much better going in to the Philadelphia-Arizona stretch.
Eric weighing in saying, can you please stop saying the Brewers are World Series favorites? I don't know what book you're looking at, but there's no book in Vegas that has the Brewers even close to top 3 favorites.
Yeah,
we did not say that it was a Vegas book.
No, it was Baseball Reference has them at the highest percentage of winning the World Series. So that tells you if you're in Vegas or if you're going to Pato, guess where the value is.
Yep. Really good value.
There you have it.
Because their odds are way longer than Baseball Reference is telling us. If you believe in people who spend their whole life worrying about baseball.
That being said, Jen, don't you dare.
Someone already said it. Someone beat you to it. Mad City Brew on the YouTube page saying, Jen, don't you dare bet on or against the Milwaukee Brewers. There's somebody else who
if
said
you're going to do any betting, keep it in the American League.
There's
That's all
somebody
I'm
else
saying.
that said that Jen hosting a betting show on ESPN Milwaukee has got to be a sign of the apocalypse. Wow. I'm going to have to start telling you guys when I win instead of just telling you when I lose. Relive the greatest postseason run in Milwaukee Bucks history with Bucks in 6. That's a podcast. It presents a special series commemorating the Bucks title run in 2021. From the thrilling 7-game series against the Nets to the 50-piece from Giannis in the finals, you can immerse yourself in the sounds of each playoff round. Bucks in 6 on the Bucks Plus audio network. Find it now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
September baseball is coming, and every Brewers game means even more this time of year. Get to American Family Field as the crew takes on the Rockies September 6th through the 8th. Get your seats now at Brewers.com.
Hey, Milwaukee sports fans. It's Brad Nortman from Kyle Brust & Nortman. You've invested too much into that nice ride, so don't settle for a gas station car wash. Treat it to a Tsunami Express car wash. State-of-the-art wash technology, powerful free vacuums, and unlimited wash memberships. Now with 5 locations across greater Milwaukee, Tsunami Express is your go-to spot for a flawless finish and a first-class car wash every time. Trust me, your car will thank you. Sign up for a membership online at TsunamiExpress.com and get your first wash free. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as, bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns to turnovers and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at 28 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that was voted Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
Christian Watson has missed 11 games over the past 2 seasons due to hamstring issues. After coming out of training camp fully healthy, the Packers wide receiver is confident he's put the injury bug behind him going into the 2024 regular season.
That's been my goal all offseason. That's been my goal all along. Hasn't worked out for me like that in the past, but taking it day by day in terms of the health. But this is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, 100%. I want to play 100% of the games. I want to play 100% of the practices, so right where I want to be.
Watson and the Packers open the season tomorrow night in Sao Paulo, Brazil against the Philadelphia Eagles. Kickoff is set for 7:15.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank.
Think owning a home is just a dream? No dream at Tri-City is too extreme. Talk to us and we'll show you how that dream you're dreaming can be reality now. Tri-City National Bank, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 433891.
You are listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Any of those things because it exceeds. It's like. I'm sorry, I'm burping up my apple right there. That's what that was. I wasn't pausing for effect. I literally was burping my apple.
Can we just go to break?
No. On 94.5 ESPN.
Here we go.
The next edition of Behind the Bucks is here on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher. Bucks stars share their experiences from competing on the world's biggest stage, the Olympics, from battling against their Bucks teammates, teaming up with fierce rivals, all for the glory of a gold medal. Behind the Bucks offers unique access and deep storytelling for Bucks fans, unlike ever before. Presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR benefits consultant. Find it bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Brewers have an off day, and then as Chewy mentioned, the schedule, it's a little dicey. They only have 2 off days between now and the end of the season after today, the Colorado series, then another off day, and then they start San Francisco, Arizona, Philadelphia, Arizona, then an off day, and then you got Pittsburgh, and then you got the Mets, and then the season will be over. AB from Milwaukee weighing in saying 20 games left. You hate the Brewers having to depend on others to lose more than the Brewers to win. And I think they're talking about, again, closing that gap between the Phillies and the Dodgers.
Part of what happens when you chase. You need them to lose.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be rooting for that. In terms of your concern, Jen, with the runners left on base, who do you think leads the league in left on base this year?
Philly.
Philly's right ahead of the Brewers. They're number 4. Dodgers are number 1.
Really?
Well, it makes a ton of sense.
You get on base.
The best teams are giving yourself the most opportunities to score.
And you're getting on base.
Yep.
And sometimes you don't push them around.
Correct.
Okay, fair enough.
So that's part of the deal. The
Let
best
me ask you
offenses
this.
leave the most on base.
Let me ask you this as we wrap up the show today. Have you allowed yourself to start believing that the Brewers could win the World Series, Gabe?
No.
Really?
Haven't started believing there yet. Got to get, once the postseason starts, you win a postseason series, it's going to go from 0 to 60.
You're waiting until October?
Yeah.
I started believing 2 months ago.
Somebody's guarding their heart. Wilde and Tosh is next on ESPN Milwaukee. Have a great one, everybody.
Eastbound on 94, right about at the ramp from 41 southbound. We do still have the right lane blocked.